Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Tea with Publicity. This intro won't be long because this is a bonus episode, a Love Island bonus episode. I interviewed Josh and Shannon and Will and Kyra, and so much tea was spilled. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't mind the backdrop. I'm not in studio today, so it doesn't look as professional, but this interview is amazing. You will not want to miss it. So keep watching. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, write a review, leave a comment, whatever it is. And I hope you guys enjoy.
Awesome. Okay, guys, I am here with Josh and Shannon. It's so good to see you guys. And I do want to first off just send my condolences. I know you guys have been through so much, especially you, Josh.
Thank you so much. It means a lot. I mean, the support has been amazing, from everybody. We really do appreciate it. So it's been a lot for me and my family, of course, the last couple of weeks. But you just got to try and stay as positive as you can. And just, all you guys with the support definitely helps. So I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, I think the support has been like pouring out because like no one wants to see anyone go like that. It was so heartbreaking and just like sad as a viewer because in my personal opinion, I think you guys probably would have won. So it was just kind of like a bummer for everyone because like one of the strongest couples, left, but obviously family's like more important than anything, and a show is a show, and you guys met each other out of it. Where are you guys now that you're like hanging out together?
We're in Philly right now, back where Shannon's from. So
yeah, so you got to do a little bit of both. Stop by, meet everyone's parents.
Right. Yeah. She's been amazing. Right off the rip, she had to come to my house and just meet, obviously under the circumstances, meet all my extended family, all my friends, all my loved ones. And she was just unbelievable throughout the entire thing. Like I've never met someone that can meet that many people and just remember everyone and just put on such a positive face for everyone in this tough time. She was awesome. And then, yeah, I came a couple days ago and I'm in Philly. I met all of her family. So it's been good kind of going back and forth. And, the travel isn't too bad. So we're making it work.
Because you're from where? Boston area?
Right outside of Boston. Yeah, like 30 minutes outside. So it's not too
Yeah, that's not too bad. Like it's so funny. I was joking with Cash because on the show, they say where everyone's like origin, like home is from, not where they live now. So I'm thinking this whole time I'm watching the show being like, okay, Olivia's in Alaska. Kyra's in Hawaii.
Yeah.
So I'm so confused because they never spoke about the fact that like that's where they're from, not where they currently live. So when Olivia's going on and on about like how I really want to meet someone and settle down, I'm like, why aren't we talking about the elephant in the room, like the fact that you have to do long distance to Alaska?
From Alaska, yeah.
Yeah.
And Cash was like, no, she's from Arizona.
Yeah.
So you guys are lucky for sure that you're like not too far apart. Is it weird to go from, I guess you guys really haven't separated much, but I was going to say it's probably so weird to go from meeting in an environment where you're living together from day one, which is so unusual, to then having to go back to your lives and like doing long distance. It's like kind of backwards, the whole thing.
Yeah. I think that, Josh and I, we were the only couple that was like we never recoupled with anybody. So we were always sharing a bed since the very first night on the island. And then I went from the island to Josh's house, and then we spent time with his family. And then we had this like, what was it, 3 days?
It was like 3 days. Yeah, she flew back to Philly on Thursday, and then I came here on Sunday. So it was like
so we had like 3 days where we were like, this is so weird, like sleeping apart because we're just like not used to it.
Yeah.
And it was just nice that Josh could spend that time with his family and their time of need, and then I kind of just got acclimated back home. But then he was right back here with me. So yeah, it's super easy to make the long distance work. We're both on the East Coast. I mean, it would be different if like he was in New York and I was in LA or vice versa. That would be a little bit tougher, but we're making it work, and it's crazy, like the transitioning from like the villa to the outside, because we both were just very authentic on the show. Like what you see is what you get. We're very like straight shooters. And so being here on the outside, like I actually think we like each other like a lot more.
That's so
like
funny.
we can like drive a car and we can listen to music and we can like do normal things that like we weren't able to do in the villa. So
Yeah,
it's
you get to show more even of like who you are because you're
Right.
interacting with real life things. So like even the way you like interact with the server or, you know,
Right.
just like little things where there's other people involved. And I think especially seeing people around their family and in their environment, like it's just better for the relationship.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, the situation that, she got jumped right in
Yeah.
was obviously an unfortunate situation and something that, even married couples struggle with. So I think that, being a new couple and just seeing how she interacted with everybody and, how she was supporting me and my family throughout the entire thing just made me like her even more if that was even possible coming outside the villa. So it's crazy to see, how she interacts on the outside and vice versa. And it's honestly going super well, and I couldn't even, imagine it going any better than it was.
I'm so happy for you guys. I think there's sometimes like in life with relationships, it could be like right person, wrong time, or it could be like right person, right time. And I feel like
Right.
it's all about like timing. Like you have to like want the same thing at the same time and then
Right.
also be compatible with that person. And I feel like you guys are both just like, yeah, this is working. Like it just, it's clicking.
we're not forcing it, you know. We're not
Yeah.
the type of people that like we don't want to waste each other's time. Like we're very just like straightforward. Like so I just like that we don't need to force anything. Like
Right.
we're just naturally we get along and we have the same things in common. Our families are very, very similar. It works, you know. I mean, even in the villa, I was telling everybody like I was just pushing Josh away because I was like, no way, no way do I like
Yeah.
this kid. Like, no shot am I finding somebody that I actually get along with on a reality TV show. Like, I was like, no shot.
On the first day.
Yeah.
Literally. And
Yeah.
I was like, no. Like, I'm going to come out and just push him away a little bit. And he just kept coming back and vice versa. I just kept coming back to him. So it's just it's a connection. You know, you can't fight it.
And
So-
I think like we're just like she said, very straight up people, and we could not fake something if we tried. So everything was just happening super naturally. And like
yeah.
I also think, besides the connection, obviously, but we're just in the same stage of our life, which really helps because we have the same goals. We're in the same, part of our life where we're sort of trying to figure out our next steps. And, now we can sort of figure it out together, which is even better. So I think like that aspect definitely helps as well.
Yeah, I think that's actually a really good thing to mention because it's true. Like, sometimes people with like age differences or career differences, like it's hard to make it work when you're both on different paths. But when you want the same
Right.
things, you're at the same point in your career, your life, it's easier to just be like, okay, let's tackle this together. And like you can make things
Yeah.
work together. Yeah. It's, yeah,
we even
I
have
have
the
hope for
same-
you guys. You guys seem like great to me.
Thank you.
Thanks.
It's so
we
nice
even
to
have
see.
the same marketing was our major. So
Oh.
like
Yeah.
it's like everything is just weirdly aligned.
That's
we have
so
we
funny.
have way too much stuff in common, honestly. It's kind of scary.
That's
Really.
amazing. I love that. Who else? So I think for you guys, like it was so easy for you because like you said from the beginning, you just had this connection. Whereas like I do feel for the people that go into the villa and don't have that connection right away because I think first of all, it can make you feel like a little rejected. It
Yeah.
can make like affect your confidence or just make you kind of feel like, oh, this isn't going to work for me. And I think like specifically for like Trina and Olivia, like they went in there being like, I want to meet someone. And when it wasn't working for them in the beginning, it was like sad to see. And now look at Olivia. I mean, they wound up winning the thing and they seem great together. But what was it like supporting other people in the villa while you knew you were like in this solid couple?
I think that, like I am such a girl's girl. So like no matter what pace Josh and I were going on, like I remember telling Trina, I was like, we're gonna come back and no matter what happens, like I know me and Josh are, if we're good, we're good. But like I will always be there for you because sometimes it is Love Island. We are in our couples. Like Will and Kyra weren't even ever with the group, they're always just like coupled. So it was a little bit harder to kind of like have her in the girls kind of group sometimes. But with Trina, I couldn't imagine not going through that process without Josh. Like Josh was my Love Island experience. And if I didn't have him there, I think it would have been a little bit harder and more difficult because he is my best friend. He was my best friend in the villa. So for Trina, I just remember saying like, I'm here, like, don't feel weird. We also invited Trina into our relationship. So that's girlfriend.
She was my girlfriend number 2, but then, you know, once the whole Cinco thing got dropped, it was 1.5. So she was close behind. Yeah.
And then Cash is also in our relationship too. So she's also Josh's girlfriend as well.
Yeah.
So like Josh was always like the boyfriend of the villa, where like when my girls were having a tough time, I'm like, Josh is there. Like it's
come
not
on
fair.
in.
Like, Josh is there. Like he's there to talk to you, and if you want to flirt with him, I'll turn my back, like whatever it is. So we were really good at just making the single ladies in the villa feel comfortable.
Right.
Like we weren't very like weird. Like we knew not to like, I don't know, make out in front of Olivia and Trina when like you're having a tough time. Like,
we had a bunch of respect, and like eventually we became like the facilitators, and we would sort of like help people out and listen to people and like on both sides. Like she would do it for the girls, I would do it for the guys. And you know, I think a lot of people, especially some of the guys and girls, like, you know, Jeremy and Corey had a tough time at the beginning, and like I kept telling them, you know, don't get discouraged, because you know they would get a little bit discouraged because they would see, you know, our relationship, maybe Will and Kyra's relationship, and get a little bit discouraged, saying, hey, listen, like my person isn't in here yet, like what do I do? But I said from the beginning, even to all the guys, I said, yo, you can't compare relationships in here, because everybody has different connections and everyone moves at different paces. So you can't be like, oh, I want what, you know, Josh and Shannon have, but you really don't even know what our relationship is, and vice versa. So I think that the best advice that I was trying to give was don't compare relationships, and just, you know, don't get discouraged, stay positive, and like the right person will come in. And just maybe you don't know, like the whole Corey and Olivia situation, that right person might have been in there the whole time, but they didn't realize it until halfway through the entire process. So sometimes that happens, and you know, the best relationships do start as friendships. So I think it obviously worked out amazing for us, and it was, you know, clicking right off the bat, but it's not the case for everybody. So I feel like, you know, we were just there to give advice and just tell people to stay positive. And, you know, for some people it worked out, and for some people it didn't. But ultimately, I think everyone, you know, enjoyed their time.
And look at everyone at the end. Like they kind of did end up like Jeremy and Corey. Like, although Jeremy and who was the girl that he ended up with? I'm blanking on her name. Bailey. So pretty. The fact that they like didn't have that much time together, you could tell they like by the end, like she liked him so much, and like they seemed really happy. So it's like maybe their time just came at a later date, but it's like being in there still gives you the opportunity. Like Jeremy even said, I think he was like, oh, I realized I had to open up and like have uncomfortable conversations that I wasn't doing in the beginning. And I think that it took him so long. And I think the people that didn't necessarily meet their match grew so much.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a lot of like courage to really just put yourself out there, like this environment, especially with confidence. Like I know even on the women's aspect of it, like you are in a villa with beautiful women of all different backgrounds, cultures, from different places. It's very intimidating. And it almost sometimes in the girls, it brings their confidence down a little bit, because you're used to being the loudest. You're used to being the prettiest. You're used to being the one that all the guys look at. And in Love Island, everybody is gorgeous. Everybody's successful. Everybody's hilarious. So it is a little bit of like a learning curve. I think everybody can take so much of a learning experience from Love Island that we wouldn't be able to get on the outside.
That's so true. And that also just made me think that I guess it's a competition, the heart racing thing that you guys do. I like whenever I watch reality TV, I try to put myself in that situation. I'm like, what would I do? And I'm like, I think I would be so in my head. Like, it's not like you're drunk or drinking. If I'm drunk, I'm like, woo! But I'm like sober, having to like strip tease. I'm like, how did they cast this many confident people with rhythm?
I blacked out, I think. I was the first one to go. And
you blacked out. I blacked out too.
I would 100%.
Dead sober.
Yeah.
Blacked out.
Yeah.
Don't remember a thing.
It's like that takes balls to do that on national television and just go out there and like no one's bad necessarily. Like everyone's pretty good. I don't even know how.
You don't have a choice. Like, you're literally just like, okay, go and do it. And it's like, wait, what am I doing? And they're like, just make it up as you go along. And you're just like blacking out as you're doing it.
I think what the best part, like one of my favorite parts about the show is like, you know, obviously it puts you, the challenges, games like that, it puts you outside your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
But the best part, obviously, but the best part is like everybody's getting put outside their comfort zone. So everyone's doing it together. They're getting thrown into it at the same time, and you just like let loose, have fun, and whatever happens. So it's not like a pressure situation where like you're the only one doing it, all eyes on you. Like everybody's got to do it. So
that's a really good
point. Make fun of someone else because like you're making fun of everybody then, you know, because we're all doing it. We're all taking turns.
And you eventually just get so much more comfortable in your own skin, and you just kind of let loose and have fun, and everyone's just, you know, vibing together. It's a lot of fun.
That's such a good point, because you're all like, okay, here goes nothing. Like, we're just going to go strip tease. We're in it together. That's funny. I feel like they say like a lot to people in business or in acting to go to improv classes because it like gets you out of your shell. I'm like, no, just go in the Love Island villa.
Actually, the application is online. You guys can apply. It'll get you right out of your shell.
Seriously. Right out of your shell, right out of your comfort zone, out of your head. That's so funny. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about the drama. Shannon, I like feel for you because this bullshit with Jenny, it's like, I feel like it's just, I could say this, I'm 30 years old. Like, it feels immature, like a little bit on her end. Like, I'm like, let's just stop, you know, perpetuating all of this. Is it frustrating to you to like come out, you guys were going through so much, and then have like all this stuff on social media? It's like bad timing, I feel.
Yeah, I think that, you know, the whole thing with Jenny, like, I don't even like bringing it up because I don't even like giving her the attention that she's so very much seeking, because that's just the way that, you know, her age, and that's what she likes to do online. I literally like have nothing to say because I just don't want to give her the clout. Like every time I talk about it, like she's just, she loves it. She's waiting for it. So she'll like wait and watch these.
Yeah.
And then she'll post like all the, like she's been waiting for these. She has them all typed out already. So yeah, I just feel like it was just like an immature thing. Josh and I are very open about our sexuality. We are, you know, adults. We know what we're comfortable with and what we're not. So for her to kind of get a little jealous that she wasn't finding a really good connection, and then kind of like say stuff to Josh that made him say, you know, well, the things that you're saying are very raunchy and inappropriate. She just like completely twisted everything. I think she's just like younger and was upset that she was getting some of the backlash that she was. So, I don't know. It's like one-sided. I don't have a problem with anybody. I'm very like opposite of confrontational on the outside versus what the show actually aired. But, you know, we have something in common with, you know, Dave Portnoy, and she kind of came into the villa talking about things that I had done when we were together and we were dating. So, it was so inappropriate. It had nothing to do with Love Island. I think she was like, came in wanting Josh and maybe was just trying to sabotage a little bit with the Josh thing. So I don't know.
I mean, I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, no matter who they are, until they, you know, do me wrong or like say something that just rubs me the wrong way. And it just like, it was just some stuff that was, like she said, getting brought up that was just getting in the way of our relationship. And I didn't like it. So I sort of wanted to address it. And then, you know, I think she became a little bit defensive and started to, you know, talk about our relationship even more, and, you know, things that we were doing. But I think ultimately, like Shannon said, it's a little bit overtalked and it's all squashed and it's not even worth the time.
It's so overtalked. I'm so sick of talking about it.
Yeah, because it's like one thing that happened and then it's like it keeps getting
right. And I'm the same way. I don't like confrontation. I don't like confrontation. I hate drama, and you know, this seems very like immature drama, and that's just not who I am. That's not who Shannon is. But I do want to address one thing.
Yeah.
You know, I think that she had mentioned something on her social media that, you know, me and Shannon, or even just myself, has become more popular because my sister has passed away. And I think that is one of the most disrespectful things I think I've ever heard.
It's disgusting.
For me or anybody else. And the fact that she would put that on social media just really rubs me the wrong way. And, you know, I don't even have words to describe how I feel about it, because, you know, that is real. Like, my family is going through so much right now. My sister was like my best friend. She signed me up for the show. And the fact that you're putting stuff like that on social media to cause a rise out of people is just absolutely uncalled for, disrespectful, immature, and just, I couldn't even imagine saying that about someone else. even the thought of it. So the fact that, she had put that on her social media just rubbed me the wrong way. And I wanted to address it, that it was just completely uncalled for.
I mean, I don't think anyone will disagree with that. It's just, you don't go there. You didn't ask for that.
Right.
Like, I mean, it's a tragic thing that happened. And it's just like, it's really unfortunate because you guys had this like amazing experience meeting each other. And it's really hard when someone from your hometown or someone you grew up with tries to kind of like come into the equation and stir stuff up. It's like, I'm sure it's super uncomfortable for you guys. And like, I don't even want to keep feeding into it for you because I hear you loud and clear, like, shut it down.
Old news by Jenny Who.
Sometimes, because like I'm supposed to ask people obviously about drama, but then sometimes I'm like, I don't even want to ask them about this because it pisses me off for them because I understand. Like I'm an empathetic person and I'm like, it's bullshit. I do have a few minutes left though with you guys. So to switch topics, at the end there, who were you guys rooting for?
I'll start. Yeah. I mean, I think that everybody there ultimately found their connection and they started to, work it out, whether it started off hot or not. But I do think that, we were both sort of rooting for Corey and Olivia just because, they were both of our good friends in there and we would go to them for advice and vice versa and help them through a lot throughout the process. And the fact that they just found each other through that friendship and ultimately grew it to a romantic relationship was just awesome to see. And I feel like, we had a hand in that a little bit just by, keeping them positive and giving them great advice. So it was awesome to see their relationship flourish and, we were definitely rooting for them. So I was glad that, they got the win and they got the money. They definitely deserve it. Corey and Olivia, they're great people. What you see on TV is exactly them, just genuine, good-hearted people. And I'm just super happy for them.
We call Olivia Auntie Olive. That's like her name. That's her name on my phone.
Yeah.
But I also wanted to say when Olive and I were at Casa Amor, that's when I really saw that she was like getting genuine feelings for Corey because there was all these like amazing Casa Amor guys in front of us. She could have literally took her pick and she was like, oh my God, I think I like Corey more than a friend. And we didn't watch Casa Amor yet. Like we just watched clips. So I don't know if they even like aired that. But Olivia was like, all I'm thinking about is Corey right now. And that's when it was like, she was literally coming back from Casa and was like, all right, I'm going to be single. I'm going to hold my head held high. And if I go home, then I go home. So we just like that, like sharp, that boldness, that realness that like we see in each other, Josh and I, that Olivia was like, screw it. I'm going to go back to the villa single and Corey's probably going to be coupled up with somebody else and whatever. I'm going to try for it. And they ended up winning. So I'm really glad that we did pep talk Olive at the Casa Amor because like she almost brought back another guy. And if she did bring back another guy, I don't know.
Well, we just
assumed how that would have worked.
The guys like in the villa, we literally had a plan. We kept talking. We were like, okay, Olivia's 100% going to come back with someone. And
we thought that too.
Then,
yeah, we all did, I feel.
Yeah. We when she came back single, we were completely shocked. Like our jaws were on the ground. But it just shows the kind of person she is and like we all love it and she's just there for herself and she's not going to settle and she's going to go for what she wants. And if she goes home, like you said, she goes home, but it worked out for the best and I couldn't be happier for the both of them.
Yeah, it was really cool because I'm in like the same life stage as like Corey and Olivia. And it was cool because I do think as you get older, you start to like know who you are a little bit more. And seeing her make that decision, it was like, okay, she cares more about finding someone than lasting on TV another week. Because she basically made that choice to be like, I might go home because of this decision. And I think like as a viewer, you're like, oh, wow, she's serious about this. And it was just like a cool thing to see her do. It was really, really, great. So I'm so happy they found each other. I think this season, each season keeps getting better of like Love Island US. I'm an OG UK fan. So like, I obviously like had big shoes to fill because like UK is amazing. But I have to say, controversial opinion, this season US was way better than this current season of UK that's airing.
Really? We haven't watched
way better.
I haven't watched any of the UKs actually.
There's not. This is the first like the Love Island. I think it's season 7 UK. There's not as many like genuine connections, surprisingly, which is rare because they film much longer. like there's like 50 episodes. So they usually like really fall in love because it's like months that they're there. But it's just like US hit different this year. You guys killed it.
Thank you so much. It's crazy to see, you know, how we're perceived when we come out of the villa, because when you're in there, you have no idea what's going on. You're just in there living your day to day, just hanging out, trying to build a connection, and you don't know if you're liked, disliked, what people think. And coming out, seeing all the support and, you know, how we were, you know, sort of front runners coming out was just amazing to see, because we knew we had a genuine connection, but we didn't know how America saw it. So it was cool to see that.
Yeah, it's weird because it's the only show where it's filmed in real time, where like you come out and you get your phone back and all of a sudden you have 100,000 followers. It's like very probably overwhelming. Like your life kind of changes overnight versus people on The Bachelor go on, film, 6 months later it airs. They kind of know it's coming. It's like you guys step out and it's like all the feedback at once, whether it be positive or negative, and you guys had to deal with the tragedy. So I'm sure it's just like a lot to kind of get your bearings.
The last week or two has been probably the most overwhelming weeks of my life, to be honest with you. Just with, you know, the whole tragedy of my sister and you know, all that support and, you know, the outpour, and then, you know, everything coming full circle with the show and, you know, all the publicity from that. It's been obviously, you know, half of it has been unbelievable, and then the other half has been, you know, hard for me and my family, and it's been hard to kind of balance the both of them. And no one can, there's not like a rule book on how to deal with tragedy, but I feel like, you know, like I said, Shannon's been amazing, and my family's been sticking together and trying to support each other throughout this entire thing, and it's been definitely difficult, but obviously it's been amazing at the same time. So
Josh has been so strong with everything. I mean, he started out with like 2,000 followers, and now he has like 100 and I don't know, 70 or something. Thousand. So like he's been tackling that. I mean, a lot of us started with at least a little bit of following, so we kind of knew how to navigate it, but his phone is freezing. He's like, I have no idea what to even do with this.
It's like shutting down.
He's like, my phone is literally shutting down. I'm like, oh my gosh, like your Instagram's like glitching. And then just dealing with everything, like going from that little bubble in Hawaii, like your little safe bubble. You don't think the world's really going on around you because you don't have access to anything. You don't get to talk to your family. You don't know what's going on. So for him to just get that bomb dropped on him like that and like completely do 0 to 100 is just like, I see so many like attractive qualities in him that we could have never seen in the villa. And it's absolutely incredible just how strong him and his family are, because I don't know how he's doing it. It's hard for me just transitioning from the villa to the outside world, let alone, you know, his sister passing is just, he's doing very, very well with it, you know, just taking it day by day.
It's really admirable. I think what you guys need to do is just like spend the weekend, watch movies, hang out, and be like, we're putting our phones down for an hour and like we just need to decompress. Like I feel like you need a vacation from the vacation. Like it's too much.
I agree. That's not a bad idea. I think that even coming out, we were like so used to not being on our phones because you didn't really have a phone while you were there, pretty much, that, you know, we were used to not checking our phones, but now obviously that's, you know, why everything's pouring in and you have to kind of check your phone and stay on top of it and do all these things. So it's kind of like a back and forth, but it was nice, honestly, not being around your phone all the time, and just talking to people. It was awesome.
Oh my God. Well, speaking of phones, where could everyone follow you guys? I want to thank you so much for coming on, and make sure everyone goes and checks your profiles out.
Yeah,
of course. My Instagram is _josh.goldy, GOLDY_, and that's pretty much my main form of communication, my Instagram. So you guys can go follow me on that.
And my Instagram is at Shannon Saint, SAINT, on Instagram. And also we are on Cameo, so we would love to talk to all the fans, as well as the link in both of our bios goes to donations to the Emmaus House in honor of Josh's sister passing. So she was a social worker, so she loves giving back to her community. If anybody wants to donate, that would be absolutely amazing.
And we'll post that link in like the description for the episode too, if anyone wants to go there. Awesome. It was so nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, you too. Thank you so much for having us. Really appreciate it.
So nice. Have fun in New York. And next time you guys come here longer, we'll all hang out and get together.
Of course, we'll get together for sure.
Don't be strangers.
Yes.
We're always here.
You guys look so beautiful.
Hey,
Thank
how are
you.
you? Thank you.
Good. How are you?
Very good. Enjoying Hawaii, Honolulu. for a
Okay,
while.
that's what I was gonna ask. I'm like, are you in Hawaii?
Yeah, we're still in Hawaii, but we're not in Hilo anymore. We're in Honolulu.
That's so nice. So Kyra, is your family currently in Hawaii? Like, do they live there?
Yeah, they're actually in Honolulu. He actually already met my parents.
Yeah, I met them yesterday.
Yeah, I introduced
Good.
him to my mom, my dad, my sister,
Oh my
and
gosh,
all
'cause
my friends as well.
that was one of my questions. I was like, okay, we need to know if he met your dad in person and if you redeemed
Yeah, he
yourself
actually
a little
already
bit.
did.
Yeah,
Good.
super nice.
Good. I knew it would go well.
It did. It went really well. They all really liked
Yeah,
it.
her family was amazing. It was nice. Her mom cooked noodles for us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I follow this TikToker from Hawaii who's like, I'm pretty sure like 19. And I like am just obsessed with the culture there. I'm like always just watching her videos, like, oh my God, what a cool place to live. But you actually you guys are both from LA, right?
Yeah, so I was actually born and raised in Honolulu and then moved to LA for college and ended up staying there after I graduated from college. So I've been in LA for the past about like 5 or 6 years now. So I'm still living there, but I go back and forth to, visit my family and come home for the holidays.
And I'm from Colombia, from Medellin, but I also go back and forth from Colombia to LA, and I also travel a little bit around. And yeah, I've been living in LA for 2 years, 3 years almost.
And how crazy is it that you guys like apparently lived like close by and never like crossed paths in LA, and then like it takes you going on to a show to like actually be in the same place at the same time.
And
yeah, I know it's really crazy. So actually, we've never met before the villa, and once we got in the villa, you know how everyone kind of talks about, oh, I'm from here, I'm from here, I'm from here. And then he told me exactly where he is living in LA. And I told him, and we realized that how close it was. It's about like 15 to 20 minutes away. And actually, not only us, but about 5, 6, or 7 other islanders also live in LA as well. Yeah. So a whole group of us.
It's really nice.
Alana, Trina, Amy, who else? Christian, like.
Wait,
there's
that's
so
fun
many people
because
that actually live in LA, but
now you
we
all,
never
like-
met each other.
now you could all hang out. Like you've got a group of friends. It's like perfect.
No, it's amazing. I actually like planning to do so much stuff together. Actually, ex-Islanders too. Sally and Justine live in LA too.
Yeah, Leslie as well, I think.
Yeah, I feel like all like because you know what it is, like everyone goes on TV and then they move out to LA if they're not already living there. You guys just happen to live there before the show, so exactly. You don't have to relocate.
Huge group of us that are already there.
So what's with all the rumors of you guys meeting before the show? This is what I thought. I'm like, I think they probably just were messaging on Instagram. Like, you just said you didn't meet before. So like, why was everyone saying that?
No, we never met at all. Like
I didn't even know of him before this. So like part of me was always thinking like, I wish I did meet this amazing man because he's so wonderful. And I kind of, you wish you met someone earlier in your life, but at the same time, about it, like I went through all that I did to lead up to the person I am now. And I don't think it would have worked out the same way that it did play out for us if we had met earlier. So it was the perfect timing that we did meet.
And what happened is I was talking to my social media manager and I was like, I talked to him and he said like, oh, maybe because I started liking people pictures when people like came out to the show, because he was managing my account while I was in quarantine for like 30 days before the show, because they took us our funds before going to the show. And then he was managing my account and he like picture of like everyone like following people. Then that's what I think happened. Then I don't know, maybe people like saw that and like thought that we met before the show.
Yeah, and my whole thought process was like, we all see attractive people on social media and like their stuff. Like even if you guys had come across each other, it doesn't mean that you had this big like conspiring plan to like go in and lie to like.
And also I was thinking about it this way, when at least experiencing the whole thing with Islanders coming in, and we always ask like, what are your intentions here? Like, what did you come here looking for?
And it's the type of thing where everyone has a good read of each other. And especially as a group, we have a good read of new people coming in, or even like other people having, I guess, reading each other. And I feel like you can really sniff out if it's real or not real between other people. So it becomes
it's really
very
easy
apparent
to know, like when people is
what's real and
true
what's
or
fake.
not in the show. Then
That's so true. Is it like so annoying to kind of have like I feel like I'm annoyed for you guys that you kind of have like some negativity clouding things from other people when it's like, just let us be happy. Like, is it kind of frustrating that people are like hanging up on these details that aren't necessarily even true?
yeah, we actually don't try to, you know, let negativity go to us. We just always keep positive, and we actually don't follow that negativity. But yeah, to let people know about like we never met before is like,
I mean, it is a little bit frustrating or annoying, but at the same time, we don't even look at it. You know,
Yeah,
we're
you
very
can't.
focused on each other and what we have that we don't, most of what we see on social media is all positivity and such support and love for us and like what we have and what we've created and cultivated together, that we don't really see a lot of that negativity, or maybe that's just who we
or
are.
maybe we don't. Maybe I think we don't put too much attention to that. Then, you know, for us it's like, okay, like we don't even know, and I don't even have Twitter either. Then I don't see things.
Don't get
people,
it. Like, I don't even look on Twitter for myself. Like, it's just ridiculous. I think, you guys are positive people. Like, I think that was evident throughout the entire thing. Like, you both always had like a smile on your face and you were so positive and you meditate. And it seems like you guys really try to live a positive life. So I agree. Like, it's not even worth it. It's so ridiculous. And people are always going to have negatives and positives. But at the end of the day, you guys made it to the end from basically the very, very beginning. So like that speaks volumes, you know?
And I also appreciate, you know, the opportunity for like you and other interviews that allow us to speak on it and for allow us to speak our truth, because obviously it's hard for us to say one thing and for that to be vocalized to everybody else. So I appreciate the opportunity to even get to say that truth.
Yeah, there's actually really like we really appreciate that, because I mean maybe people have like bad intentions, but like yeah, it's nice to clarify that too. And about the positive thing, you know, talking about that, I was telling Kyra and like so many people, I'm really sensitive with energy, and like you know, it wasn't hard going through the show and feeling all this energy, you know, because they create so much drama, sometimes not negativity, but it creates drama. And we were not dramatic at all. Then for us, we're like always keeping positive thinking, positive through the relationship and also through all the process. And even sometimes it was kind of overwhelming, all the things that happen, they start happening, and they were like, oh my God, this is too hard, you know, like we went through and like in points we were like, oh my God, wait, like this is hard, like going through. At the same time, it's like a really nice experience and beautiful. But for me, it was kind of overwhelming feelings. Everyone like kind of putting drama in the relationship, and we're not like negativity at all. We don't let that like bother us. Then yeah, we always try to keep it positive.
That's a good point, because it's like you're trying to work on your relationship, but at the same time, your friends are going through relationships. So you're giving them advice and then you're also hearing their opinions. So it's kind of like weird because you're trying to focus on each other, but then there's everything else there too with other people. So that makes a lot of sense. I think, I mean, as a viewer, I think it seems like you guys were super solid and like very compatible. And what are you guys like most looking forward to now that you have left the villa and couple, you get to actually see each other in like real everyday life versus like this bubble?
I mean, what I'm very excited for is already kind of what we've been doing since we've been out of the villa, is sharing experiences and doing activities together that, you know, doesn't have any restrictions or limitations of what we can and cannot do, you know, what the villa has to offer. And we get some alone time. And don't get me wrong, I love all my fellow islanders.
I forgot about that. It is true though. You've never hung out alone, really. That's so
yeah,
interesting.
no, at all. Like we just have a lot in the day, and that, like, you know, we talk about this, like like we met in the villa, and you know, like we experienced so many things, and we know from the villa, but we also want to know each other in the real world, like what we do in the normal day, what we like to do, because we talk about that, but we didn't experience doing it. You know, it's like I can tell you, like, oh my God, I like this, but okay, let's go to the real world and experiment all the things we like, know your family, your friends. And that's what we're trying to do, giving opportunity to each other to, you know, like try it in the real world. And that's what we're doing. And we're having so much fun. We like, have been like 2 days and we're just enjoying life.
That's so fun. When are you guys heading back to LA?
After Honolulu, we're gonna go to New York and, you know, meet up with the rest of the cast as well. The rest of them are all planning the same to meet up in New York this weekend, and I think head back to LA next week or so. But we're not really sure exactly.
A long flight ahead of you, Hawaii to New York.
Yeah, it's gonna be a long flight to go to New York.
Oh my gosh. My friend just flew out to Hawaii actually, and she's like, I'm so tired from the flight. But I actually heard that all of you guys are coming to New York. That will be so fun, because at the end of the day, like, it wasn't a catty cast. Like, everyone seemed like really genuine, nice people. And it's refreshing on TV, especially to see like strong female friendships and the way you all supported each other. And it just seemed like everyone, for the most part, like got along really well, minus like a few hiccups here and there. But like, it was just like, how was your overall experience just like being in there and filming this crazy show?
It was actually really amazing. I was very thankful to, you know, everyone who came into the villa was, you know, specifically chosen to come in. And I think it was done so intricately and so well, because just everyone's energies that they brought really mixed well with the rest of the group. You know, the vibes are always changing, but it seemed to go really well. And, you know, it was a very amazing experience. It was scary at first, you know, taking that leap, because not many people would be willing to jump into a Love Island experience. But it was so fun, you know, doing all the challenges, all the games, and really becoming friends with everybody and becoming such a tight-knit group.
Yeah, I was joking with sorry to cut you off. I was joking with Josh and Shannon about how I was like, people that are actors go to improv classes to like get out of their shell. I'm like, you just got to go on Love Island to come out of your shell, because like it makes you like doing the striptease dances I'm like, I would be mortified, but you have no choice but to just open up and do it.
Yeah.
We were like the guys, we were so nervous before going to the striptease thing. We were like trying to support each other, like we never did kind of these things before in our life. And they were like, this is crazy. Like, oh my God, what our family is gonna think, what our friends is gonna think we're doing this striptease and doing this in TV. But then we support each other, and because we know each other from so long, we never think about that. We just came out and think. You know, when you are in the moment, you don't think about how many people is watching.
Yeah.
But then you start getting into just living the moment, and just like it became like really genuine, like, because it's just the normal day. You just feel you have a microphone, and you know, I forget that I had cameras around me. Then it was like living a normal day with friends, and then it started becoming like more and more close between each other. Then you have more confidence with people, and you know other people too, and become your friends. Then that make it more interesting. But for me, the experience was amazing, and it was a grateful experience. It was really hard to jump in the show, because, I mean, English is my second language, and coming to the show to express and talk about love and talk about my feelings and talk about all these things, I never had the experience to do that. And I was telling her, and like everyone knows, like it's my first time I date like a English speaker, just like an English speaker.
Oh wow!
And it's really interesting too, and also the mix of cultures we have. You know, I am Colombian, Latino. Like my background is all Colombian, and she's like a Japanese, Hawaiian, and you know, it's these beautiful things, and we can share together. And I mean, it's amazing the outcome of the show.
Well, I think your English is great. Do you feel like being around so many people that, like you said, your first time dating someone that's English, did it help you kind of like refine your speaking? Because it seems like you're speaking so well.
That's what I always tell him. I know that there is a little bit of a language barrier as far as expressing thoughts and emotions, rather than just basic sentences and phrases and words. It's different from actually really expressing feelings and emotions. That's a lot more intricate and detailed. But as far as our communication goes, I feel like we really understand each other so well.
I feel like it's great.
That language barrier has never been an issue or an obstacle at all. But as far as, I guess, the friendships with the guys and the other girls, maybe catching on to jokes or other things like that was a little bit more difficult. And I really felt for him, but also at the same time admired that he even took that risk, you know, with English not being the first language. And I think that's something very admirable. Just because, you know, it's not easy putting yourself in that situation at all. But as far as our communication goes, it's never been a problem at all.
Actually, make it more interesting.
No, I think
we have to explain in so many ways, or like we just, you know, sometimes we become jokes, you know, like if I say something wrong, you just make fun of me, like between each other, you know, like it's cute, it's a cute thing.
Hey, listen, English is my first language and I'm always saying the wrong words and always getting things confused. So you're doing
that's actually funny because I'm like that as well. English is my first language and I still get confused. And actually a couple times it's happened where he's corrected me on my English.
My mom always says to me, "You're using that word the wrong way. Like that's the wrong context." I'm like, whatever, let me live. Sorry.
Yeah, like sometimes you don't, like, you know, communication is more about like letting people like feel what you're talking or what you're expressing. It's not just about using the language correctly. It's more about getting people know and like understand what you're saying. And that's the best communication.
And at the end of the day, like you guys always communicated great throughout. I feel like you guys were so honest and open with each other. And like, I guess another thing, speaking of communication, is the fact that you were without your phone for a month or however long. Was it like cool to kind of just be unplugged and be able to just like really focus on each other and focus on your friendships? Because it must feel overwhelming now. All of a sudden your phones are like beeping and you're doing press and
no, like we still like, you know, even if we're in our phone, we still know like getting to really into our phones right now. We're enjoying more each other. But in one point we'll have to like getting in our phones, but it's really overwhelming actually. And
I honestly, it was hard for me at first, you know, using my phone all the time, using social media all the time before coming into the whole Love Island experience, and not having that taken away at first, like for about one day, it was a little bit difficult. But after that, I really appreciated and enjoyed, you know, the beauty and the peace of mind, the peace I felt inside of not having that, you know, that need to be on my phone, that constant attachment to my phone, you know, kind of stepping away from that and looking at what's in front of me and the connections I'm able to make really made me happy. And, you know, kind of getting my phone back, it is very overwhelming, but at the same time, I always try to take a step back and, you know, enjoy and appreciate, put my phone down more than I was doing beforehand. And I'm still taking the time to, you know, answer texts, call people back and respond to emails and respond to DMs and all that type of thing. I'm still very slowly getting back into it because I'm just trying to still enjoy what's in front of me.
I mean, we really try to be grateful with everyone that support, but it's kind of hard too because like so many comments and DMs and like we're trying to like respond many of them. And it was a nice time to be like inside the villa with our phone, you know, like now we spend so much time on our phones and we don't really like it's in the relationship. And that's something that teaches us in the villa, like how like without your phone you can create like real connections because like we go to a date and we don't have our phone in our hands. We go to a date and
so true.
100% connecting with the other person. Also with the friendships, we talk and we just talking, and we just have to, because when when you're with your phone, you're looking social media, you're answering an email, and then sometimes you don't like build those real connections. And that was a really nice experience from the villa, actually. Like,
I think
be
that would
more,
be so nice to have.
yeah, be a little bit more offline than like online, be more like aware of what's going on, because it's really important to feel, to feel like people, to feel like, like touch people, hug, kiss, because that's more like, it feels better for you, for the soul and for yourself. Like, and that's probably like good teach from the show.
I like how like zen you guys are. Like you're very just like you care about mental health, I feel, and like just trying to do what's best for you. And I feel like that's such a good way to be, because coming out of this, it is unlike other shows where, like, I would give this example to Shannon and Josh, where like people go on The Bachelor, but they know, okay, in 6 months my season's airing, so they can kind of gear up and then they could watch the followers come in. With you guys, you have no phone, and then the next day you come out and all of a sudden you're in press, you're doing all these things, and like it's probably very overwhelming. So I like the way you guys are kind of like just slow to kind of dip your toe in. I think that's really great.
Yeah, we're pretty similar in that way, actually.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it has been a lot and very overwhelming, but at the same time, I want to show like appreciation to all the love and support we've gotten that, we honestly didn't even know about, because like Will and myself, we were really living the experience day by day, not thinking about what anyone else was thinking or not thinking about outsider perspective. We were really just, I was living the experience to what I believed, and everything was real to me that I didn't even think anyone was watching, because that's just not something you think about when you're focused on a relationship or you're focused on your friendships. Half the time I forgot there was even cameras there.
Yeah, so many times we forget we have microphones and things like that, and having that microphone like 24/7.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
actually sometimes I sit in the mirror and I'm like, where's the microphone?
Thinking about where
I forget the
Oh my God, you go to
microphone.
check for it. You're about to get in the pool. You go to get in the pool and you're like, wait, I got to take off my microphone. And you're like, wait, I'm not wearing
like
one.
That. Things
That's
like that
so
is
funny.
like, maybe like, where are the cameras? Right?
That's so funny, because the other thing with Love Island is that there's not like producers in your face. It's like fixed cameras. So I totally see why you would forget. Like you just get so comfortable, like, and you're just living your life, like you said. It's amazing. It was really a pleasure meeting you guys, and I'm rooting for you guys and wishing you all the best. And I know you're overwhelmed with social media, but for when you're ready, where could everyone follow you guys?
Yeah.
My Instagram handle is at Shirley Zalma.
And mine is Will Moncada J. My Instagram.
Amazing. You guys are the best. I wish you well.